Y'all, we need to talk asexually. Okay, so let's talk about whose side this planner situation. Okay, long story short, I hired Tatiana to be my planner coach back in I think of October 22. I was smack dab in the middle of the pregnancy and I was feeling great, so I was like, I can launch a planner, that ain't no problem. But as time went on, I kind of stopped the process because I got sick. I, got big, whatever the case may be. I just was like, girl, by May of this year of 2023, I started getting my swag back, feeling more confident. So I started working on the inside pages, and me and Tatiana started connecting again and doing the work like we just was doing it. I slated to launch it in August because I wanted to hit the back to school crowd and all of that jazz. So we link up with the manufacturers, get a price, right? I find the manufacturer I want to go to. There was an option of doing things overseas with China. The issue with China is the shipping time, right? So China is cheap, baby. They can manufacture some good stuff for the low, low, low. But the thing with China is that you have to get a huge quantity of your product and you have to wait on the shipping and the processing. And with COVID still kind of lingering, I didn't really want to rely on that for our August launch. So it's really important for me for the company to be based in the US. So I found a company, well, Tatiana recommended a company, went with them, priced them, whop the bam. I'm getting the inside pages done. It takes a little bit of time, especially because I wasn't familiar with Adobe, InDesign, Illustrator. Like it just took me a minute. And I would say it's like July that I'm ready, and I start to realize like August isn't gonna happen, but September feels really good, maybe Octoberish or whatever. It's undated. It's an undated 12-week calendar planner, right? So I just felt like, okay, even though I'm not hitting my deadlines the way I want to, October feels really, really good. Like that'll give me enough leeway. I'll have enough money to do what I need to do. So I priced it in August and I kept checking in. And it was the price, it was what it was. I felt really comfortable, even though it was pretty expensive in comparison to what I found over in China. It still just meant a lot to me to get it here quickly, get it to me like in 5 business days or whatever. Because China had their lead times is like, it might take 10 days to print, it might take 30 days to come, like it just was a to do, y'all. So I've been ordering my samples, right? I got the sample of the first cover. The second cover sample, I didn't order yet because I ran into this problem. I did get some notepads, and plus I was in the middle of still designing the covers. Like samples have been coming in, and I was having issues with some pixelation stuff, so I was going back and forth with the company. It was just taking time. But after I got this second sample for the second cover, I was just gonna hit go. Like, okay, let's do this. It is what it is. So I'm ready to order, and the price changed. The price changed substantially per planner. And it broke my heart. It increased by 10 whole dollars. It wasn't a $2 increase. It wasn't five. It was 10 whole dollars. And I was already paying a pretty penny for the booklets. And the way that this company works, the higher the quantity is, the deeper discount you have. The issue I have with that, even with China, is that I'm just starting out. I don't know my audience necessarily. I don't know the response that I'm going to get. So, I was the requirement overseas is that you get a minimum order of 300 of everything, right? Well, I have 2 covers, I have 2 notepads. Like I don't have the space for that inventory. I mean, it could go in our garage, but I don't want the responsibility of having to try and sell 300 pieces, 900 pieces if you really count the line number or whatever. So China was out of it, right? I looked around at the other manufacturers that were on my list, but wasn't really hitting what I wanted. They also went up by between $8 and $10. And when I, talk to people, they're just like, it's inflation, it's the economy. People have to mark their prices up in order to make profit, which I understand. But I wanted my planner to be at a certain price point wholesale for me to purchase so that y'all wasn't paying $60 for no planner. And if I had stayed at that price point, that's what it would have been. But I can't in good conscience sell a 12-week planner that's undated for $60. You know what I mean? When you could get a full year for $60. So it's really important for me to stay at a low price for me to make it. And I still need to make money. Like this isn't a hobby, this is a business. So, I'm just literally kind of devastated because I was literally about to hit submit, purchase, let's go on this order. So after feeling my feels and just being like, oh my goodness, Tatiana, outside of her coaching program, she also gives you interest into what's called her handmade planner course or whatever. And I pretty much watched all of it except the parts that I knew I wasn't going to do, that I was going to outsource, right? So it goes over design of the cover, inside pages, product, just like the whole nine. And when she would talk about this is how you bind it yourself, I'd be like, skip, or this is how you print out your papers yourself, skip, this is the printer, because I knew I was outsourcing it. So I'm just sitting here like, okay, getting it outsourced is not even affordable. It doesn't make sense financially for me as the business owner or you the customer. So I was like, I might have to hand make these planners, which is a huge pivot for me. The reason why I was going with getting them manufactured is because I'm a new mom and my time is limited. So I don't know, especially when he was younger, just like, I don't think I can do nothing but ship them off. But now it's looking like I might have to make them myself, which is overwhelming. When I say, like, I've just been kind of stressed out these past few days because of this, because that's such a huge undertaking. Now, there are some corners that I'm going to cut. I'm getting the book board cut by someone else in Michigan. I found local printers that can actually print the inserts for me and just have them, by stack. The planner is 192 pages. So they'll, stack them up for me, cut them down to size. Some people cut their own paper down to size. I ain't one of them. I just don't trust myself to cut nothing straight, clean, like I just don't want to do that. Mostly what I'll be in charge of is printing the cover, making sure that the cover is on the cardboard properly. I'll be actually binding it, like assembling this. I'm showing y'all, like y'all can see, assembling this and putting the coils on there. And that feels a little bit daunting, but as long as I'm not printing out 192 pages and all of that, that feels a little bit better. Now, the reason why I'm kind of excited about this, how sometimes obstacles be like, dang, but also this is a little bit exciting for a few reasons. I was kind of settling, if we being honest, on a few things with this planner. I didn't want it to be 8.5 by 11. It's big. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty thick and a big type of thing. And I like big things, but I really wanted it to more so be around the 7 by 9 kind of measurements. Now that I have to make it, I can do that. I also wanted some custom things inside. Like when you open it up, I wanted there to be a folder right here. They couldn't do that. I wanted it to perhaps have a ribbon in there because it's 3 months and you don't know where you last left off. I couldn't do that with that company. Maybe some tabs. Maybe I want some gold, like little metal corner. Now this obstacle allows me to get more creative and get more of what I want and not necessarily settle. I was going to have to pick between an 8.5 by 11 or a 6 by 9. One was too big and one was too small. Now that I am in control, I could get the 7 by 9 that I want. So I already have them working on sending me samples of the book board. I am going to buy a cinch machine to do my coils. I get to pick the color. I didn't get to pick the color on this. So it's some things where it's just like, this is giving me full creative control. Am I still nervous? Does that negate that? Not at all. So there's that. That's a positive of that. Now let's talk about the kind of funny how God works, right? Let me take a sip of water real quick. Play the Jeopardy music. God is funny. So late in the midnight hour, when I can't sleep for years, I would just watch girls package their orders. Like just sit there, just listen to the ASMR. Then I started following some of the, the crochet girlies, the sticker girlies, the scrunchy girlies. Here's my studio vlog. Make 1,000 scrunchies with me. That's what I would just sit there and do. And I've always been inspired by them. Just like, dang, they got a talent that they could sit there and do and make money from. That's inspiring. I would sit there and watch the girls doodle their art, and then launch day, and I sold 1,000. That's pretty much what my timeline is. It is Miss Rachel, tab time for Kobe, and just small women doing their small businesses. And as I'm driving, I'm talking to Tequila about this dilemma. Like, girl, I'm going to have to hand make all these print planners and all of that. She was just like, maybe God is preparing you for this. Isn't it funny? We were just having a conversation about how God prepares you for something, and a light bulb went off like, huh, is that why for just a couple years I've just been kind of watching people pack orders and design their packaging? And it just, mind you, my business at the time was a media company. Like, I was just focused on like, how can I get my podcast more sponsors? How can I get brand partnerships and all of that stuff? So that was funny, because in watching those girls, they showed their process on how they make the inventory first and then they release it, or they bag everything up, or how they design these covers. So that was funny. It was just like, maybe this is what's been preparing me. Like I said, they've always inspired me, but I felt like I didn't have a talent where I could do that. And it's like, God, is this the opportunity? Even funnier part, recently my therapist has challenged me to listen to some different affirmations. I have been listening to mommy affirmations for, just trying to heal myself from postpartum. So she was like, listen to this one about manifestations. And one of the things, she says a lot in this one, and I'll be sure to link it below. She says things like, I'm a magnet for an abundance of happiness. But it was something like, opportunities are always presenting themselves to me. Like, I just, opportunities are always there, and I'm always at the right place in the right time. And I had just been saying that for the week before all this happened, just like, opportunities present themselves. And I'm just like, instead of looking this as an obstacle, maybe this is an opportunity for you to have more ownership over what you're creating, for you to have more creative freedom. So now I'm like, okay, every month we can have a drop of a new cover, of some new features. Now I can make my yearly calendar, things that I was limited by because of the cost. To have a stationery business, it costs a lot. Paper costs a lot. Good paper costs a lot. You know what I'm saying? Printing ink, it costs a lot of money. So I was limiting myself based on the money, the quantity that I needed to have. And now it's just like, you can be a maker. You can use your hands and make it and customize it. It also allows me to customize it. And that's something I need to think about. Like, I couldn't get foil on this, like the gold foil. I can't put y'all names on that prior to it working with the manufacturer, but now I can. So is this the opportunity that I was manifesting that I didn't know that I wanted or needed, or whatever the case may be? So that's why I'm like, y'all, a pivot is among us. It concerns me a little bit. Here's my concerns, is that I have to hurry up and get the equipment, the materials, like now, because I still want to launch in October. Like, I still want the first week of October to be launch week. Can she do it? Who knows? Like, I don't know, because I'm a perfectionist. I just want things to be nice and easy, and I don't want to have the learning curve time. Like, I just want it to be done and good, right? But I'm just gonna have to give myself enough space to make some errors. But I'm like, it's only September 9th. That gives me what, 21 days to do. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm getting this one particular printer. It's an inkjet, some type of Canon something. It's not that expensive. It's like 120. That's the other thing. To buy the equipment and the materials is cheaper than the investment I was going to make in that. So I get more of my profit back. It's just like, maybe this is the gift that I felt like was inside the curse. So that's where we are. The Sunday Jumpstart Paper Company is now going to be handmade. And I don't know if it'll stay like this forever or not. Maybe it'll be for the first couple batches, and then I can get a feel for it and figure out my quantities and all of that. Or I just make them myself. Tatiana did that for years. Like, that's her whole thing, is that she handcrafted her own planners. And I'm learning from the GOAT. You know, she was in business, I think, for 7 years. So it's like, just do that. I'm also concerned about like the timing. Like, okay, being a full-time stay-at-home mom is a lot. With YouTube on top of it, you know, like trying to grow that. But other women do it. Like I found, oh, what's her name? The handmade mom this morning. I was watching her. She has a 2-year-old and a set of twins that are 6 months old. And she was doing it. And it's just like, you just figure it out. You just figure it out. And I've been super duper overwhelmed lately, just since this. Like, I don't know, I gotta price stuff, I gotta do it. But it's like, it gets to be easy. It gets to be fun. This gets to be a new adventure. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm scared, I don't know. I am scared and I don't know. But that, can I twist that and just make that fun for once? Like, does it have to be, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I am now. So, I want to clean up this office. Y'all can't tell, but it's kind of giving messy. My family was in town last week, and so it's just a little bit messy. And then I just want to sit down and really get my numbers so I could get a feel for the true investment, so I could figure out my pricing and just go from there, just go boss to wall. And I'm super excited because this is how companies start. People are just like, I didn't know how. I was in my basement. I'm in my office, which is just like a spare room. And you just buckle down and do it. That's it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So I just wanted to document this moment, because I want you guys to see the behind the scenes of building a business from scratch, the curveballs that you're thrown, and just how to pivot. Like, what's the alternative? Is just to stop? No, I'm not gonna stop. I just can't stop. So I'm excited, scared, nervous, but I'm gonna push through and just do the damn thing anyway. So that's that. So let's clean up. Just vibe with me. I'm gonna put on some music and just try to make it make sense in me head. Y'all, this is and maybe I'll show you the other design for the covers. Yeah, let's just hang out. Oh, and before I go, one thing I forgot to add is that my mom is a maker. I grew up watching my mom sell cookies, sew our clothes, knit, crochet. So it's just like, maybe I've been a maker and just didn't know. Okay, y'all, mommy duty called. I had to put Cody down. But anyway, if you enjoy just knowing the ins and outs and the behind the scenes of starting a stationery business, be sure to subscribe and like and comment and share. Now that I feel like I have like a better footing of YouTube, I'm planning on uploading a little bit more. I was building up a ton of momentum with the watch time and just with subscribers, and it kind of slowed down because I went from posting 2 videos a week to a video and a short, thinking that that would suffice, and it does not. So I guess the plan is to upload on Sundays and Wednesdays and do shorts in between. I think this Wednesday, once I get my numbers and all that stuff situated, then I'll show you guys like the comparison, the money, the investment, the equipment I got, because you know I should have some stuff by then, do some vlogs and just show up. So subscribe, like, comment, do. I appreciate it. I love you guys. Stay encouraged. Let me know what you're working on that gave you a little curve ball that you got to pivot for. Let's all encourage each other. Be sure to follow along on TikTok and Instagram at The Sunday Jumpstart, and I'll see you soon. Bye.